An unbelievable and frankly unacceptable loss for the Dodgers. The worst 53-game stretch that the franchise has seen in forever. And you think they're going to come out of it with some history. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 8 2/3 no-hit innings. It's broken up by Jackson Holliday, a solo home run. Okay, that's fine. You still got a 2-run lead, 2 outs away, and the bullpen blows another gem from Yamamoto.
We're really 1 out away.
1 out, 2 strikes.
8 2/3, 2 strikes. Jeremiah Jackson, Blake Trinan throws a breaking ball that should have been called a strike. Looked at the computer, looked at the chart, but you got to let that go because you still just have to get 1 out. The bullpen let them down tonight. Offense has let them down before. This is now a 5-game losing streak. And I have said this before in amateur ball. I've said it in the big leagues. Sometimes things get so low that you have to build yourself a launching pad from that lawn and hit rock bottom, which is nice and solid, and go from there. This is a really, really hard loss to take.
It feels like we've already seen rock bottom, but then a night like tonight happens. Right. So how do you get off the mat tomorrow? How?
Well, you got Clayton Kershaw on the mound, the stopper through this whole generation for the Los Angeles Dodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's going to fire him up. There is nothing that needs to fire him up. He comes fired up for every one of his outings. But after this tonight, he will be locked in.
Yoshi, you were excellent tonight. What do you attribute just to being able to get through 8 2/3 innings of no-hit work tonight?
今日ももちろん素晴らしい投球でした。8回と3分の2素晴らしかったんですけども、何が一番良くて今日そういった結果が出せたと思いますか？
キャッチャーとは初めてだったんですけど、試合前も試合中も、しっかりコミュニケーションを取って、いいコース狙って思い切って腕を振って投げていけたので、その思い切りが良かったかなとは思います。
Yeah, this is the first time for working with Ben, and so we were communicating between the innings very meticulously, also before the game too. And I think because he helped me to hit my spot, put me in the right spot.
I saw the ovation for you, just the success that you had. Does it take away the feeling that you were having out there, just considering now the loss that this game has?
Take away, sorry, first part.
Take away the feeling.
Take away the feeling. 今日ちょっと最後、結果的にちょっと負けっていうことになったんですけども、その中でもなんか今日収穫になったことっていうのは何かありましたか？
試合に、勝ちきれなかったのはやっぱりすごく悔しいですし、チームもすごい苦しい状況ではありますけど、なんとか、全員で戦っていって、残りの試合を、一つでも多く、勝っていけたらなと思います。
Because we've been in a little bit rut lately, but because we are working hard, and then we got to overcome this little hard time.
Blake, when you look at just your outing tonight, what did you find kind of just missing for you on the mound today?
I mean, obviously command. There's really no words. You're paid to be a professional and at least throw strikes, and I didn't do that, and cost one of the better outings I've ever seen in my career with Yama. He deserves better than that. Offense deserves better than that. And it just really sucks to be on that end of it. Put Tanner in a tough position to come in. Where he's keyholed to have to throw strikes, great pitches, and big league hitters are going to find a way to move runners. So it's pretty low point for me, coming off the heels of kind of a tough stretch right here. But I gotta be better. So,
how different was just when you're warming up and the no hitters going on, and how different is it kind of preparing for an outing like that, and does that kind of change things when you get on the mound? And
I've oddly enough I've had to do it once before, back in 18, Sean Manaea. So I kind of understand to pace myself. That's not an excuse for how I perform. It's just I just gotta be better. Throw strikes.
What adjustments are you trying to make there when you realize that the command is off?
Find the big part of the plate and tell them to hit it. I mean, after the first guy gave up a hit, it's just force them to put the ball in play and let them get themselves out. But it doesn't work when you walk a guy and then you hit someone and then you walk another guy and all of a sudden winning runs on second and we put somebody else in a position that they shouldn't have to be in. I have to get one flipping out. I didn't do it.
Ben, just Yoshinobu was obviously excellent tonight. How did you find just kind of navigating through their lineup with him and what you two were very close to achieving?
Yeah, tonight was awesome. Fantastic effort by him, fantastic effort all around by everybody, coaching staff, players in the field. Everyone played a part in that. Just doing our homework. I've faced these guys over the past 3 years a lot, so I kind of have a feel for some guys in our lineup. So obviously pitching off his strengths, trying to do my best just to stay in tune with him and kind of just ride the wave. So.
What's it like just trying to get used to catching Yamamoto for the first time, and especially when you kind of realize what he's kind of doing out there over the course of the outing?
Yeah, I think first time kind of helped with kind of this game and how it went. I think I was just so focused on trying to be on the same page with him that I kind of got lost in it. But yeah, just trying to do the best effort to put us in a position to win, and obviously he did that. It was a lot of fun.
How much did he call his own game?
A little bit. We definitely bounced ideas in the dugout, but he wore the pitch comm tonight. So he.
Dave, Yoshinobu was obviously excellent tonight. Does it make this loss even more frustrating or more challenging to accept, considering how well he pitched and just how quickly it ended?
Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic tonight, beyond. To lose this game when there's a lot of good things that we did, certainly like we did, yeah, it makes it tougher. It's certainly a wasted opportunity or performance from what Yoshinobu did.
With the with the offensive side, just how the guys, the at-bats, I know you've been talking a lot, just you've been seeing really positives from them, but how they were building innings, is that where you would like the guys to be when you talk about that urgency, the consistency? Is that kind of felt like it's been the closest you've seen?
Yeah, closest we've seen in a while. I thought, throwing out 10, 11 hits, something like that, I thought, the at-bat quality was good, even with some guys, obviously, in our lineup that are struggling, trying to find their way. But I just think in totality, there was a lot of good things. Situationally, we did some nice things. And, we scored enough to win tonight.
Like this, kind of, you don't like to have the woe is me attitude, but do you feel a little snake bit after something like this?
But I guess, but I think also tonight, Blake had a bad night. When you walk two guys and, you can't put guys away, it's hard to say you're snake bit. You make your own breaks, and tonight he wasn't good tonight, and, very uncharacteristic, but, it happened.
In the dugout kind of shift from what Yoshi was doing to when that ninth inning starts going sideways on you guys, and it starts to feel real that the game's kind of slipping away?
I think, when Blake started losing kind of command, and, you kind of try to, feel that he's done it many times over, that he can get an out, and, regardless of handedness, and, he's been our best reliever for quite some time. And so you got to give him some leash. I gave him some leash to, secure the game. And until I felt that, that 4-pitch walk, I just felt like he didn't have the confidence to continue to go or to make a pitch. And, Revere hit a good pitch down below and got a base hit. But that's certainly not on Tanner tonight. He came into a tough spot, and a guy took a good swing on a good pitch.
Have you ever gone from so high to so low in a game like that, especially one that's not like a postseason elimination or anything, just the way that inning played out?
It's hard to recount a game like this, where there's so many things and you feel like you can get a little bit of momentum, build off a great outing by Yoshinobu, and take that into tomorrow. And then obviously it completely flipped, and yeah, the guys fought hard. So with the way we played, I got no complaints. It was just we just couldn't get that last out.
You said make your own breaks because I sort of feel like maybe some stuff can compile on itself, like you pressure trying to like close out a game like that.
I mean, I think in most cases, but I just feel that Blake Trinan has been, in some of the toughest spots that any relief pitcher, can imagine. So I just have a hard time believing that any spot or moment's too big for him. And so, yeah. So, but I think that, yeah, some players, I think the moment, but I don't think today was a night that anyone was trying too hard or pressing. It just came down to Blake had a bad night.
Yoshinov's pitch count was quite high after the 8th, and what was the decision-making process for you to send him to the 9th?
I just felt that, I felt he deserved a chance to get a no-hitter. I felt that, the guys, were feeling it for him, were pulling for him. And I wanted it bad for him. I did. And, once he gave up that homer, and that was still a pretty good pitch, then you've given up, the shutout, the no-hitter, and then for me, I felt that, we pushed him far enough. And so we've got to be able to get one out. And that's just, we just got to be able to get one out.
What did you say to Yoshi on the mound?
I just told him he did a fantastic job and tip his cap to the fans because they were cheering for him in that 9th inning.
We will start with a rehab assignment tomorrow for T.O. in Chesapeake. So he'll be there tomorrow. And then from there, I think he's going to Norfolk after that. So just be one day there. We have Samuel Basayo, x-rays negative, so we're good there. In that situation right there, he got hit in the throwing hand. Wanted him to throw a couple balls just to make sure that they didn't run right there. Obviously, it didn't feel good. We pulled him. Feel like it was the right thing to do for the kid. Probably sit tomorrow to give him one more day plus the off day. Then we'll have him back in there most likely. That first game against Pittsburgh. And then the last one was Dean Kramer. So Dean, MRI came back. Nothing glaring by any means. What we're most likely going to do is skip his next start. We're going to try to. He's going to play catch tomorrow, then probably the day after the off day. If he plays catch and it goes well, then we will keep him active, skip his next start, and then kind of keep him going for the one following that. If he plays catch tomorrow, or I think it's Tuesday or after the off day, and there's an issue with the throwing, then we'll probably IL him at that point.
How do you describe the emotions of going from one batter away from being no-hit to a walk-off win like that?
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that with how that thing was going. I mean, Yamamoto is so good. I think pitch 101 was 98 we looked up on the board. The split was filthy. The curveball, the whole thing, the cutter, the whole thing that he had was no-hit type stuff tonight. Credit to our guys, even in that situation right there in a packed house on such a big night. I feel like the guys, they stayed positive in the dugout. They stayed loose. They stayed energetic. Unfortunately, I think some of Cal's magic resonated and affected us there in the 9th inning.
I mean, when Jackson hits that home run, obviously it gives you guys life, but I mean, were you imagining a comeback, or was there some relief that you guys weren't going to go no-hit?
When you got gunners sitting on deck after the home run, I think you feel pretty good that if we get one more guy on base, it's going to get really interesting, and it did. The Jeremiah Jackson kid, I mean, he keeps on plugging away, man. I mean, that's a big at-bat right there against Trinan. Hits a double right there, puts a lot of pressure on him. Here comes Gunn. Gunn's a threat, even though he might not be swinging the bat the last couple of days that he would like. It's still Gunnar Henderson. You can't make a mistake, so they got to be careful. And you're careful with him, and then you get some more traffic. The momentum builds. Momentum's a real thing, and off that thing goes.
You get to the 9th inning, and you guys hadn't been close to a hit really at all.
Yep.
I mean, were guys still confident?
I don't know if confidence is the right word. I think positive and optimistic. I mean, it's hard to be confident against a guy throwing, 98 in the pitch 101. I mean, that guy's really good. I think we all see why the Dodgers gave him the contract that they gave him, right? After never pitching in Major League Baseball. So he was electric tonight. Confident, probably not the right word, but optimistic, resilient, probably the right words to use right there for our group. And, being resilient and being optimistic, I think every once in a while pays off.
Tony, took until August to get you guys' first walk-off win. I know there's some circumstance that goes into that. Is there something happening with the club lately, or that some quality that you've seen in them that makes this part of the season a little different than what was going on in these close games earlier?
you got a lot of guys who are getting their first opportunities in the big leagues, and they're fighting for their careers right now. And I think when you get that, it does create a little bit of a different vibe. Obviously, we traded away half the team or close to it. Then plus we're missing some guys for injury. So there's a lot of guys getting an opportunity right now. They're competing. They're doing great. We've had some good fortune. I think it's fair to say that that first part of the year, we had a lot of bad fortune when we weren't winning games. And here we are. We're getting some of that good fortune back and able to make the most of it.
And this was amazing as well. We told you, this was 1 out remaining for a no-hitter. The win probability in the bottom of the ninth for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you see all the way up in the right-hand corner, was 100%. Well, we know how accurate that was because it switched 100% to the Orioles. You see the color goes from blue down to orange all the way to the end of the game. Orioles facing all odds coming through. Clayton Kershaw is the starter tomorrow for the Dodgers, 9-2 with a 3.28 earned run average. Tomo Sagano, 10-7 for the Birds. He will start again. The Birds going for the sweep tomorrow against the Dodgers. You've been watching O's Extra Post.